Here's what happened at Pullman City Council, Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. The council meeting started off with some quick announcements. Ryan from the fire department shared some good news about Pullman passing its regular inspection for community fire safety. And it was the final council meeting for Eilleen Maccoll and Becky Duben. Mayor Johnson presented them both with plaques honoring them for their service. Becky has served Ward 2 since the beginning of 2022 when she was appointed to fill the seat vacated by Dan Records. She has served on the Audit Committee as well as the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, helping to steer the financial resources in a prudent manner. Becky's position from Ward 2 will be filled next month by Carla DeLyra. Eilleen has served in the at-large position since January of 2020 and has been a vocal supporter of Pullman's stewardship of its water resources. She served on the Whitman County Solid Waste Advisory Committee as well as the Palouse Basin Aquifer Committee. Eileen's position on the council will be filled next month by Eric Fajarin. This was also Glenn Johnson's final council meeting as mayor, and a number of friends and supporters came to share some kind words. Glenn is the longest-serving mayor in Pullman's history, holding the seat since 2004. Over the past 20 years, he has overseen Pullman through a lot of change. At the turn of the century, only 25,000 people called Pullman home. Today, we're pushing up against 34,000. Glenn saw us through times of budget troubles, new retail expansion, the acquisition of the current City Hall buildings, and most recently, the new airport runway and terminal. But don't expect Glenn to be going away anytime soon. He'll still be the voice of the Cougs, and I'm sure you'll be able to see him at a lot of community events. The next time you run into him, take a moment and thank him for all he has done for our community. The new mayor, Francis Benjamin, will officially take office at midnight on January 1st. In regular business, there was a motion to approve some end-of-year budget items. The city is updating its code to close a loophole related to pets and animals. Apparently, if you get ticketed for having a dog off of a leash, the fine can escalate up to $1,000, and yeah, they're going to fix that. Fees for burial plots at the city cemetery are going up, both for traditional burial and cremation, and most of the fees are related to rising staffing costs. And finally, the city is modernizing its policies to allow for more widespread use of electronic signatures, something that isn't easy to implement in a working government. Hats off to our city staff for spearheading these improvements. The council then retired to executive session. This is where a discussion needs to be had that, if it were done out in front of an audience, would significantly damage the government's ability to get a fair negotiation and return for taxpayer money. Now, in this case, an executive session was called because the matter at hand involves some sort of money changing hands for some sort of property. Now, even though these discussions are kept private, any final decisions or changes to the plan will still have to be voted on by the council in public, with all the usual opportunities for public comment. This executive session was supposed to go for 20 minutes, but ended up taking over 45. When they finally returned to the council chamber, a motion was made related to the downtown revitalization project. Now, what you're about to hear might appear sketchy, but I promise you it wasn't. The team just didn't get the camera switch back on in time for the live stream. So instead, here's the audio.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
The motion is to...
Turn your mic on, make sure it's on.
I'm on.
Okay.
The motion is to direct staff to modify the downtown project scope 2, extend the project timeline and the street closure from April 1st to October 15th, and there will be full Main Street closure for most of this time, maybe all of this time. To reduce the liquidated damages amount by half, to increase project incentives for early completion from 10 days to 20 days maximum, and to alter the restrictions on the 3-day closures of the front door closures from 3 days to a maximum of 7 days total.
Second.
We have a second from Becky. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Matter carries. At that point, we're ready to adjourn.
Remember a few weeks ago when no construction contractors bid on the downtown project? Well, this motion was proposed to change the timeline of the downtown dig to include more time to do a complete job, and also allowed for longer closures of the sidewalk and access to businesses. Now, I obviously wasn't in the executive session, and none of the council members are allowed to discuss anything, and I haven't heard anything about what was discussed. But I think it's reasonable to infer that these more favorable terms will help encourage more contractors to apply. If all goes well, the project could break ground in early April and be finished in mid-October. Now, I don't speak for the City of Pullman or any of the elected officials, but if you have any questions about the issues mentioned here or want clarification about what goes on in your city government, get in touch with our city leaders. Each one of them cares deeply about the future of our community and would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.